Chapter 2. The Carpet Bag. I tossed a couple shirts into my busted old carpet bag, slung it under my arm, and dipped out. Destination, Pacific. Left Manhattan behind and rolled up in New Bedford just as a cold-ass December Saturday night was setting in. Found out the little boat to Nantucket had already pieced out. Next one wouldn't leave till Monday. Great. Most newbie whalers crash in New Bedford for a bit before heading out, but that wasn't my plan. I was dead set on getting on a Nantucket ship. Something about that island, loud, wild, a little unhinged, felt right to me. Yeah, New Bedford had taken over the whaling scene lately and poor Nantucket was kind of washed. But still, that was the OG. Nantucket was the blueprint, the day one. First American whale got clapped there. Red men in canoes were chasing leviathans from its shores. There's even a story that the first crew took off with nothing but cobblestones to chuck at whales until they got close enough for a harpoon. Iconic. Anyway, I had a day and 2 nights to kill in New Bedford before I could hop the boat. So step 1, figure out where to crash. The night was straight up miserable. Dark, cold, depressing. I didn't know a soul. Checked my pockets, a few coins. Not much. So I told myself, Ishmael, don't be picky, but ask the price first. Then I posted up on a dead street corner, bag on shoulder, trying to decide which direction had slightly less to spare. I wandered a bit, walked past a place called the Crossed Harpoons. Looked too high-key, too loud, too pricey. Then came the Swordfish Inn, glowing red windows, warmth leaking out like it was flexing on the rest of the icy town. Snow and frost were 10 inches thick everywhere else, but the heat from that place melted the street out front. Inside, you could hear glasses clinking. Sounded fun. Too fun. Nah, I told myself. Keep it moving, bro. You're broke and your boots are falling apart. Stop blocking the doorway. So I bounced. I kept heading toward the water, because cheap, borderline haunted inns always cluster there. Sure enough, the streets turned grim, like abandoned level dark. The buildings looked like blacked-out Tetris blocks. Candles flickered in windows like ghost signals. That whole part of town was dead quiet. Eventually, I saw a glow leaking out of a low, sketchy building with the door wide open like it didn't care who walked in. Felt public, unbothered. I stepped inside and immediately tripped over an ash box, choked on dust. Thought, nice, welcome to Gomorrah. If the Crossed Harpoons and the Swordfish were out of budget, this place had to be the trap. Heard a loud voice inside and pushed through a second door. And bam, felt like I'd walked into some end-of-days parliament. Whole room full of black folks, all turning to stare, while a preacher in the pulpit hammered out verses on the blackness of darkness, and the weeping and gnashing of teeth. I noped out fast. Yeah, not the vibe, I muttered. Definitely not spending the night at the trap. Back out in the cold, I saw a flickering sign near the docks. It creaked like it was one gust from falling. Painted on it was a spray of mist, with faded words underneath. The Spouter-Inn, Peter Coffin. Coffin, I thought. Spouter? A bit death-coded. But hey, apparently Coffin's a common Nantucket name. Probably harmless. The sign looked poor enough. The building looked like it had been rescued from a fire sale and dropped here by accident. It was quiet, and the vibe was cheap. Sold. The house was tilted, like one side had given up. It stood at a freezing, wind-blasted corner, and the wind? That was Euroclydon himself, howling like he was trying to rip the whole planet apart. But when you're inside with your feet to the fire, Euroclydon's just aggressive white noise. An old writer I once read, rare book, probably the only copy left, said something like, Euroclydon feels very different if you're looking at it through frosty glass with hot soup in hand, versus staring it down from a busted window with frost on both sides and death as your landlord. Facts. That stuck with me. Our eyes? Just windows. This body? A cold little house. And no one patched the leaks. Too late now. The universe is built. Chips swept up and tossed eons ago. Look at Lazarus out here. Teeth chattering, curbside pillow, rags for warmth. He could plug his ears, shove corn in his mouth, and still that wind would hit like trauma. Meanwhile, Dives, cozy in a velvet robe, red before he got the other one, is out here going, "Ah, what a crisp night. Northern lights are bussin', like it's a flex." Brother Lazarus doesn't care about Orion. He's frozen. Would trade it all to be horizontal in Sumatra right now. Hell, even hell might feel warmer. And honestly, that Lazarus is out here freezing while Dives lives like a czar in a palace made of frozen sighs. Sipping orphan tears, probably. That's wilder than icebergs docking in the tropics. But enough about that. We've got whales to chase, trauma to collect, and frost to shake off. Let's scrape the ice off our boots and see what chaos the Spouter-Inn has in store.